first want to thank the Axis Bank team to give me this very unique privilege of sitting on the same dais as Shikha and having the pleasure of interviewing her, which is something that I couldn't have even dreamt of until Dharmesh called me a couple of days back. So Shikha is a very, very dear friend, a great professional mentor. She's been my boss for the longest period in my career and a wonderful human being. So it's quite, it's a difficult challenge for me today because most of you, or if not all of you, are from the financial community. And for you, numbers, percentages are everything that talk to you. But I'm very, very keen to bring out the human side of Shikha. Leadership is not just about, delivering numbers or delivering good quarterly results. It's about a holistic engagement with people and with the business. So if it is okay not to be too number focused, I would like to really bring the digital learning that Shikha has from her leadership journey. She has done a professional journey for 38 years, of which at least a good over 25 years has been in leadership capacity. And I would really like to do that this evening. And thanks once again for this honor. So my first question to you, Shikha, is that you are a great serial entrepreneur. You have built so many businesses successfully. And your focus has always been in value creation. As a professional who comes from a private equity business, for me, creating value is the very purpose of existence. I would like to hear from you, what are the strategies that has worked for you in building businesses, whether it was ICICI Prudential, which you started from scratch. Today it is worth, I think, about 450 billion rupees. Or the turnaround in Axis, you've at least quadrupled from the time you have taken over. How do you devise strategies that create this kind of wealth for shareholders?
So thank you, Renu, for agreeing to come all the way from Kadakwasa just to do this. You've been very generous with your words, but as you know, the first entrepreneurship role that I had was in setting up the markets business in ISEC, and you were very much part of the team. And to be honest, I learned the essence of entrepreneurship from you, because what I saw you do, I knew nothing about investment banking, and although you were part of my team and I was your boss, I knew nothing. And you always treated me with respect, and I got to learn everything I knew about investment banking from you. You've heard me say that before, so I'm not saying this for the platform today. It's really true. And the other amazing thing that I learned from you was never say never. So you would bring ideas to me, and I would say, Renu, what the hell? This is not happening. Why are you wasting your time on stuff? And a year later, I would be surprised because so many of them would turn into reality. And while initially I was shocked at your style, I think in the couple of years that we got to work together during that phase, I learned that you have to reach out for the impossible. And don't make up your mind. Please watch, observe, and see what results in success and what doesn't. So I think you've been a big teacher, Renu. But in terms of then developing businesses, it's, you're right, I was lucky in ICICI that I was asked to set up several businesses. The retail funding group, the structured finance group, where again you and I worked together, and then insurance. And the common pattern across all of that was that I knew nothing about those areas when I entered, and yet the organization had placed faith in me to try and figure that out and set up the business for them. So the one common formula had been actually learn from whoever you can. So you taught me not to be embarrassed about learning from somebody who would expect to be teaching, and that helped me to then not ever be embarrassed about saying I don't know. I could go and learn from anyone, from my colleagues, from my subordinates, from my competitors, and I didn't hesitate, or from outside of my industry alone. So spend the first couple of months trying to figure out what the environment is about, what might work, what might not work, and then try and do a shared vision of where the world is going, where are we today, and what strategies might work. And surround yourself with the best talent. And make sure that all of you together believe in the direction that we're heading for. So those are the common elements of all the businesses that I was involved in setting up. And to me, if I had to draw one essence of what has worked across, it's really that observe and learn in the early periods and on an ongoing basis. Surround yourself with the best talent and make sure that you have shared passion for where you're heading. And then the world will help you figure out your path.
Yeah. So that's, I think, while what you would have heard is the spoken word, what I would like to share is that the beauty about working with Shikha is that, one, there is this childlike curiosity. I mean, whenever we would go and sell a new product to a customer, you know, she would have the thrill of a little girl who has got a new toy or a new dress, you know. So to keep that curiosity when you are such a big leader and engage with your team like an equal. I mean, Shikha saying today in front of so many people, and she has, of course, said this many times, that I learned this from you. And I'm sure she has said this with many, many people. The humility and the core reason why you exist is to constantly learn with a childlike curiosity from wherever that learning is possible for you is, I think, one of the key differentiators in Shikha as a leader, which has taken her where she is. And again, this is a trait that you can take from one business to another business, from one time period to another time period. And this is not something that we would say will work in insurance and banking and will not work in fashion or entertainment. So these are just very, very fundamental core leadership qualities which distinguishes the person in Shikha, which has made her successful, time and again. Shikha, I'd like you to probably give a little description of what was it to take on the job of Axis Bank? For the first time, to be honest, I mean, I've learned a lot from Shikha. I'm an eternal student of her. But when she took up Axis Bank job, I was very excited for her because it was a great opportunity in a very interesting macroeconomic environment in 2009. But I was worried because all the previous successes of Shikha was in one organization called ICICI, where she had two things going well for her, besides her own capability, of course. One is complete trust of the management of ICICI. She was considered a very, very high performer. That's a lot. Whereas in Axis Bank, she had to build that trust with altogether a new board. The second was, at least as far as I have known Shikha, she has built her own team. So when you're building your own team to build your own business, the chances of success are very high. Whereas in Axis, she was parachuted as the CEO into a already well-developed organization with a history which is very different from the history of ICICI. It was a great professional challenge for Shikha. And I, for one, thought that she would be successful, but it won't be easy for her. So I'm very keen to hear what that journey has been, what that journey of transformation. I would also venture to say that while Axis Bank was a private sector bank, it was never spoken in the same breath as an ICICI bank or an HDFC bank at the time you came in. Today, it's right on top. So obviously, you have done a lot of wonderful strategic changes in the bank, and it'll be useful for the audience to hear from you. And for many, many other people who are not in this room, many entrepreneurs, my life is all about dealing with entrepreneurs, and really want to use this moment to extract the juice out of you for all the entrepreneurs outside this room who would want to emulate you?
So Renu, I have to admit that I've been lucky through my career because I've got lots of opportunities to, as you said, build businesses, and it's been very rewarding. But without hesitation, I would say that the last 7 years at Axis has been to me the most rewarding and the most challenging period of my career. Because you're right, when you get parachuted into an organization, which is different from what I'd done before. I hadn't actually led a core bank before, right? I knew nobody in the team, so I didn't have a point of view on any of the people. And third, but very important, it was an extremely successful franchise. So you might say that, market cap went from here to there, or leadership position went from here to there. But we have to remember that when I took over the bank, it was a bank which had had profitable growth for several years. It was a bank when I went out to talk to customers, they loved the experience that they'd had with Axis. So here was I trying to juggle 2-3 things at the same time. Learn what makes this bank tick. Learn about the people. Make up my mind about what needed continuity and what needed change. And once having decided what needed change, pace it such that I do not hurt the existing valuable franchise in any way. And I think that's where I have thought a whole lot about, did I pace the change at the right speed or not? And I remember in the first interview that somebody had asked me what would be my biggest problem. I'd actually said that I don't know what is going to be the right pace of change. So, you figure out, you learn. All those that are tools, you've done that before. You're going to get there. Taking a point of view on people, it may take you some time, but you're going to assess what are the different strengths of people and how best to leverage that. But then once you figure out what needs to be changed, making sure that you pace it at the right pace, not so slow that you don't have impact, not so fast that you kill a great franchise, was the constant thing that I was talking to myself about. So every 6 months, I would say, boss, have I done too much? Is this too much change? Is this too little change? If there's too much change, there's going to be chaos and lack of acceptance. If there's too little change, then you know that there's something around the corner and you're going to miss it because you're not preparing for it. So that to me was the biggest challenge. If I look back, I would say I got that broadly right. So I got many other things not quite right, but as far as pace of change is concerned, I do think that I was patient and I kind of got that pace of change right.